Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show where we really get into some intriguing source material and pull out what matters for you. Today, we're looking at something pretty fascinating, the unreleased Samsung Galaxy S27 Ultra. And specifically, we're digging into this one, well, unofficial source that's generating a lot of buzz, particularly in India.
Yeah, and that's what makes this so interesting to break down, right? This source gives us these incredibly specific predictions, down to the millimeter. But at the same time, it's very upfront saying, hey, this isn't official, it's speculation. So it lets us look not just at the possible phone, but how this whole pre-release information game actually works.
Exactly. So the real question for you listening is, what can we actually learn from this kind of stuff before a company even says a word? And maybe what does all this early buzz tell us about, the tech world itself? Okay, let's get into it. First off, the sheer level of interest in this S27 Ultra is kind of wild. The phone isn't even announced, and our source makes a point of saying people in India like Samsung mobiles a lot, and they're already searching for S27 info. That's a lot of excitement for, well, basically a rumor at this point.
It really is. And seeing that focus on the Indian market specifically, it highlights something bigger, doesn't it? Tech hype isn't just driven from the usual places anymore. Big markets like India are actively shaping that conversation before the launch. You have to think brands see that, right? They see where the organic interest is building. It's like the fans are trying to will the phone into existence.
Okay, so let's look at the initial specs this source throws out there, the quick summary. It says, not announced yet, obviously, running Android 14, has a 6.6-inch display, 1080 by 2400 pixels, camera, 50 MP, does 4320p video, that's 8K, 12 GB RAM, and a 5800 millilipo battery. Seems like a pretty standard, flagship list at first glance.
Definitely the headline grabbers, yeah.
Yeah.
The number's meant to impress right away. But what's really interesting, and we'll see this as we go deeper, is that this same source actually contradicts some of these points later on. It's like even the leak itself isn't quite sure yet, which, really underlines how unofficial this all is.
Right. Okay, let's talk physical. What's this thing supposedly look like, feel like? Dimensions. 163.6 by 75.5 by 8 millimeters. Wait. 192 grams. Build. Now, this is interesting. Glass front, plastic frame, plastic back. Standard SIM, dual SIM option available. But then, under other features, it gets a bit more premium sounding. IPX8 water resistant. That's 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. And an armor aluminum frame advertised for better drop and scratch resistance. So, hang on. Plastic back and an armor aluminum frame. How does that work?
Yeah, that's a good catch. The IPX8 rating, definitely premium. And armor aluminum frame sounds tough, durable. But yeah, plastic back on a top-tier Ultra model. That does feel a little off, doesn't it? Maybe the frame is internal structure for rigidity, while the outside back panel is plastic. Or it could just be, lead confusion or marketing getting ahead of itself. And the style support mentioned, too. That immediately brings the Note series to mind. It suggests they're going for something robust, yeah, but also like a real productivity tool.
Okay, so beyond how it feels, how does it connect? That's always key. Our source lists pretty comprehensive network support, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, including the different 5G types like Census Sub 6 and even milliwave for the US. So covering all bases there. Speeds look standard, HSPA, LTEA, 5G, wireless, Wi-Fi up to ACK, dual band, Wi-Fi direct, hotspot, Bluetooth 5.1, navigation's got all the usual suspects, HGPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BDS, NFC is in, and USB Type-C 2.0 with On the Go.
It's a very thorough list, isn't it? Exactly what you'd expect on paper for a modern flagship, global compatibility, strong connections. But it makes you wonder, right? For you, the person actually using the phone day to day, how much do you consciously think about, say, Bluetooth 5.1 versus 5.2 or specific 5G bands? You mostly just expect it to work. The fact that these details are in an unofficial leak, though, tells you something about the audience they expect is reading it. They care about the nitty-gritty.
Right.
Okay, let's get under the hood. The performance bits. OS is Android 14. GPU. Adreno 730. That seems straightforward. But then the chipset, here's where it gets messy again. One part lists the Qualcomm SM8475 Snapdragon 8 plus Gen 1, but another section, sort of unofficially, hints the S27 might get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 6. What's going on there? Is that just a typo or something else? Yeah, that's peak leak territory, isn't it? The 8 plus Gen 1, we know that chip. It was powerful last year, still very capable. But Gen 6, that's pure speculation on a future unannounced chip, a big leap. This kind of discrepancy isn't just noise. It could hint at Samsung testing different prototypes, maybe. Or maybe it's just wishful thinking creeping into the leak. It definitely shows how fluid this information is. And for you listening, it's a good reminder, take these early specs with a grain of salt. Even the leakers might be guessing.
Okay, cameras. capturing the moments. What's the prediction? A triple main camera setup. 50 megapixel primary, but then only a 2 megapixel secondary. Plus an LED flash. Video is interesting. 8K at 24 fps and 4K at 30 or 60 pps. Selfie camera. Single 8 megapixel lens, but with a dual LED flash.
Oh.
And selfie video supports 4K at 30 fps and 1080p at 30 fps with gyro EIS for stabilization.
That 8K video recording is a big flag. It screams high-end content creation. That's still pretty niche, pushing the boundaries of what phones do, aiming at people who shoot and maybe even edit seriously on their device. And the detailed video specs, the frame rates, the stabilization mentioned, it's just the focus isn't just stills, but a really solid video experience too.
Makes sense. Now, power. How long will this thing supposedly last? Battery type is Li-ion. Fast charging is mentioned, but no specifics on wattage. But here we go again with conflicting numbers. The first summary said 5,800 mAh, but other sections, like the price part, consistently say 5,000 mAh for all versions. That's quite a drop. 800 mAh is noticeable, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's a tangible difference in daily usage, easily an hour or more for heavy users. Li-ion is standard, LiPo offers some flexibility, but the capacity difference is the key thing here. The fact that 5,000 millis pops up more consistently later, especially alongside pricing info, maybe makes it feel a bit more likely. Hard to say. But yeah, fast charging is crucial regardless. These conflicts, though, they're classic signs of early unofficial info just piecing things together.
Okay, storage and memory. Room for everything. Big detail first. No memory card slot mentioned. That's a key point for a lot of people. And, surprise, surprise, more conflicting numbers. The detailed specs list 128 or 256 GB internal storage and 8 GB of RAM, but the price section and the opinion section, they list way more options. 1288 GB, oh, okay, but also 256 under and 2 GB, and even a massive 1 TB with 12 GB of RAM. That's quite a range they're predicting there.
Yeah, the no card slot thing is huge. It forces your hand when you buy the phone. You have to get the storage you need up front, pushes people to higher tiers or the cloud. And that huge spread of RAM and storage, especially topping out at 1 TB, 12 GB. It suggests Samsung might be trying to cover all bases, from someone who just needs the basics, maybe, to the absolute power user who wants everything maxed out. It makes you think, for you listening, how do these wide-ranging predictions affect what you expect? Do you start hoping for that 1 TB version?
Good question. Okay, the bottom line stuff. Price, availability, other bits, status is just coming soon globally. Price prediction, around $2,000 based on the S25, but varying by variant, obviously. Made by South Korea. And colors, wow, lots of predictions here. Phantom black, green, cream, lavender, graphite, sky blue, lime red, and a BMW M edition. Okay. Sensors look standard high-end. Fingerprint under the display, ultrasonic, accelerometer, gyro, proximity compass, barometer.
That huge list of colors, plus a special edition like a BMW one. That screams broad market appeal, trying to offer something for everyone's taste. And the sensor suite, particularly the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, just confirms the premium positioning. What does all that signal to you, someone watching Samsung? It looks like they're aiming for a big splash, hitting both style points and high-tech function, trying to capture a really wide slice of that top-end market.
Okay, so we've seen a ton of detail, some of it conflicting, all of it exciting if you're a tech fan. But let's just circle back, hammer this home. This source is explicitly not official. They even say they're just trying to give some information to the Indian people through our blog, even if it is not official, which is quite upfront, actually.
Exactly. And that leads right into their own disclaimer, which is worth reading. For general information purposes only, and you should not rely upon the material as a basis for making any decisions.
Yeah.
That's crucial for you, the listener, to keep in mind. It underlines why critical thinking is so important with this stuff. The inconsistencies we found, they aren't just mistakes. They show the uncertainty baked into these early leaks.
Yeah, and it's funny, even their own rating system seems confused. One part shows a solid 9/10 for everything, design, display, camera, but then elsewhere it's a 6/10 based on your selection. It just shows how fluid and almost like alive these unofficial previews are. They're figuring it out too. So wrapping this up, we've gone deep into this unofficial look at the Samsung Galaxy S27 Ultra. We've pulled apart the predictions, the specs, the features, and yeah, the contradictions too. It's a real snapshot of the rumor mill in action.
And really, that's the value here, isn't it? Analyzing these sources gives you that glimpse into what people are hoping for, what direction tech might go. Even if the final product is different, understanding this pre-release conversation tells you a lot about innovation and anticipation itself. It's about the whole ecosystem, not just the final spec sheet.
So here's the final thought to leave you with.